In her book, Race, Empire, and the English Language Teaching, Motha describes various contradictions that surround the English language and its teaching. There are many positive outcomes associated with learning English, such as social advancement, increased opportunities, wealth, whiteness, and modernity, among others. These are all in turn affected and increased by globalization, which Jackson defines as processes operating on a global scale that rapidly cut across national boundaries. The media portrays English and whiteness as the ideal, especially in movies and television. Even if a story takes place in another country or with another language, it is often portrayed by actors who are white, American, and English speaking. One major example of this that's recent is The Forest, which was a movie made about a Japanese suicide forest and myth. However, the two main actors were white and American rather than Japanese or even Asian. Seeing the success of white actors could potentially subconsciously link success with whiteness and English speaking in the minds of learners. Similarly, English is beginning to take over the business world, becoming the de facto language in negotiations, making success in this area dependent on knowledge of the English language. As English continues to grow, so do the positive outcomes that come with it. However, there are also negative outcomes that are growing too. One of the main contradictions Motha discusses is that English often promises advancement and opportunity, but contributes to societal inequities, whether they be social, economic, or academic. Access to English education adds on to the existing disparities between wealthy and non-wealthy nations, because wealthy nations can afford better English teaching, which gives them better economic opportunities, which then increases their wealth, while other nations either stay at the same level of wealth or become less wealthy due to fewer economic opportunities in a globalized world. The other main contradiction is that although English supposedly brings enlightenment, it is causing the extinction of other languages. Motha touches on this by describing the link between worldviews and languages, and how when a language is extinct, the worldview that is associated with it also declines. I would take this one step further and propose that in addition to the worldviews declining, the cultures associated with language are declining. Jackson says that virtually all communication engaged in by humans is culturally linked, with communication being the combination of verbal language and nonverbal cues. If this is the case, which I believe it is, it means that students learning how to communicate in English are also learning the dominant English-speaking cultures, such as British culture, American culture, or Australian culture, which is slowly making them the dominant cultures in the world. As native languages are replaced, so are the cultures that accompany them, which is making the entire global worldview smaller. The interconnectedness of the positive and negatives of learning English cause it to be a very contradictory topic and very controversial, especially due to the complex social and historical aspects underlying its teaching. It is important as an English language learner to recognize this and be a critical learner of the language.